Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are going to tackle a tool that, honestly, can feel a little intimidating at first, but is absolutely essential for any developer, the Linux command line. Our goal is to turn that blinking cursor from something you might be nervous about into your most powerful tool. So, if you're building software, you know the drill, right? You're constantly clicking through menus, dragging windows around, digging through file explorers. It's just slow, it's repetitive, and frankly, it gets in the way of what you actually want to be doing, which is writing code and building cool stuff. But what if you could just tell your computer what you want? Well, that's exactly what the command line lets you do. Think of it like learning to speak your computer's native language. It's direct, it's incredibly fast, and it gives you a kind of surgical control that a regular graphical interface just can't come close to. Now, before we dive in, let's just quickly get on the same page. What even is Linux? Well, you can think of it as the engine of your computer. It's the core software, the operating system, that's sitting there managing all the hardware and resources. The command line? That's our direct line to talk to that engine. So here's our game plan for today. We'll kick things off with why you should even bother with the command line. Then, we'll walk through setting up a digital workspace, managing your files, and even taking control of your system. After that, we'll look at what it takes to become a power user, and we'll wrap up with your very first commands to get you started. Let's do it. So, really, why learn this? Why not just stick with clicking? Well, it boils down to three things that every developer craves: speed, power, and automation. Pointing and clicking is fine for browsing, but when you're building things, typing a precise command is just way faster and so much more flexible. Okay, enough talk. To really see how this works, let's create a little scenario. Imagine you're a student and you've just been handed a new coding assignment. You need to start a brand new project. Now, forget the mouse. We're going to do this entire thing right from the terminal. First things first, every project needs a home, a folder to live in. To do that, we use the command mkdir, which is just short for make directory. You literally just type mkdir and then whatever you want to call your project. Boom, the folder is created instantly. And yeah, it's really that simple. There's no right-clicking, no hunting for new folder, no renaming untitled folder 27. It's just one clean, precise command. This is that efficiency we were talking about. All right, our project folder exists. Now we need to actually go inside it. For that, we use cd, or change directory. And hey, if you ever get lost and wonder, wait, where am I? Just type pwd, print working directory, and it'll tell you your exact location. And to see what's inside the folder you're in, that's ls. Using ls/l gives you a detailed list view, which is super useful. Okay, so we're inside our shiny new project folder, but it's empty. Kind of lonely in here. We need to start creating the actual files for our project. The touch command is a super fast way to create a new empty file. So for our Python project, we could just type touch main.py. Done. Need to make a quick backup? CP copies it for you. And if you decide you want a better name for your file, MV lets you move or rename it in a flash. Honestly, these three commands are the bread and butter of managing your files. You don't always need to open a whole file just to see what's inside. Head will show you the first few lines, perfect for checking things like imports or file headers. And tail shows you the last few lines, which is an absolute lifesaver when you're watching log files for new error messages. You can even use tail-f to watch a file update in real time. Game changer. Okay, let's set a scene. You've been coding away, you're in the zone, and then, suddenly, your computer just grinds to a halt. Your script is totally unresponsive. This, right here, is where the command line goes from being convenient to being your superhero. Oh, we have all been there. You've accidentally written an infinite loop, or you've got a memory leak, and your program has just gone rogue. Clicking that little X button does nothing. You start reaching for the power button, but don't. The command line gives you a much better way. Your first step is to diagnose the problem. The command psaux is like your computer's task manager, but on steroids. It gives you a list of every single thing running on your system, and in that list, you can find the process ID, or PID, of your troublemaking script. Once you have that PID, you can perform a precision strike. The kill command does exactly what it sounds like. You just tell it the process ID and it terminates that process instantly. Problem solved. And that right there is such a powerful feeling. You didn't just close a window. You reached deep into the operating system itself and took direct control. With the command line, you're the one in charge of the machine, not the other way around. So moving around and managing files is essential, for sure. But what really elevates you to a command line power user is learning how to find that one specific needle in a massive digital haystack. We're talking about finding one error line in a file with millions of lines of text. A perfect example of a power user tool is grep. It lets you search for text inside files. So you can just tell it, hey, grep for the word error in this huge log file, and it spits out every matching line instantly. But here's the real magic. You can chain commands together using something called a pipe. So you could list all your processes with PSAUX and then pipe that huge list directly into grep to find your script by name. It's this whole philosophy of small tools doing one thing well and working together that makes the command line so incredibly powerful. And this feeling is so common. Once you get used to working this way, it feels difficult to go back. As our source, Geeks for Geeks, puts it, the sheer power and efficiency can make it really hard to switch back to older, more restrictive ways of doing things. So, feeling inspired? Ready to give it a shot? Let's put everything we just talked about into a simple little sequence that you can type into your own terminal right now, just to get a feel for it. Go on, open up your terminal and try this. First, make a directory, mkdir, my first project. Next, change into it, cd, my first project. Then, create a file, touch hello.txt. And finally, see what you've made, ls-l. There you go. In just 4 quick commands, you've done a core developer workflow. So let's do a quick recap. The big takeaway is that the command line gives you incredible speed and power. You can start a project with mkdir and cd. You manage your files with tools like cp, mv, and touch. You can peek inside them with head and tail. You can tame runaway programs with ps and kill. And you can search for anything with grep. Look, we've really only just scratched the surface today, but you now have the fundamental keys to the Linux command line. And this isn't just about learning a few technical commands. It's a whole new way of interacting with your computer. It's a superpower. So the only question left is, what are you going to build with it? Thanks for watching.